Hi. So right now, I'm with my two boys. I'm Caroline Wright. I'm a cookbook author and children's book author. I'm sitting here with my son Theodore and Henry. And Theodore, how old are you, Theodore, buddy?
4.
Yeah, and Henry, how old are you?
I'm 7.
Yep, so these are my two cute boys. I wanted to share with you today a project that I've been working on. So I wrote this book, Cake Magic, a few years ago. It's one of my favorites. And it's all about how to get people to bake. And I'm very passionate about it, and I teach my kids. But I wanted to be able to teach other kids too, in a series called Baby Bakers. It's in the works. So I'm working on some really simple recipes for kids, and I've heard from my 2 recipe testers out in Brooklyn, Emma and Edgar, that these work really well even with gluten-free flour. So these are my beginner brownies. They're very simple. So what we did already is we melted 1 12-ounce bag of chocolate chips, semi-sweet chocolate chips, and we melted a stick of butter with it. It can be done in the microwave. It can be done in the microwave or on the stove top in a double boiler, just like a bowl set over a medium saucepan of simmering water. Basically just melt it.
We're not ready yet.
Hold on. Sorry. Brothers. So Theodore, we're gonna, right now, Henry, can you crack 3 eggs for me? So it's 1 12-ounce bag, 1 stick of butter, 3 eggs, a cup of brown sugar or white sugar would work too. I just prefer the richer flavor, and and then a cup of flour. That's all it is. So Henry is cracking the eggs, and then he's going to measure some flour. Theodore and I made these the other day. Theodore's very excited to stir right now, so that's where it is. Did you get some egg in there? A good trick to get eggshell out is to use, oh no, that's not an eggshell. Here.
No, I got a small one though.
It's not an eggshell. There we go.
All
Here.
right.
Theodore, you can start to stir these in.
No, I want to pour them.
Okay, sure. Sorry. You add the sugar.
What can I do with the sugar?
Well, Theodore's going to stir it all together. And you need to measure out.
So, dump the sugar in?
Yes, please.
Theodore, dump the sugar. I'm going to dump the sugar and then you stir.
Great. So,
stir.
Yeah, here, squish it down and then stir it. You got it. There you go. And Henry, while he's doing that, will you please measure out a cup of flour?
Sure.
So it's super simple. And the other recipes I'm working on are a really simple sugar cookie. And the idea came from actually, I don't know if you guys know the cake. It's typical Southern cake. Henry, do you want some of this paper to work on so that if you spill? There you go. It's called a 1, 2, 3, 4 cake. So I thought, hey, it might be a cool way to teach little kids to bake and to count. So that's where the idea came from. So great job, Henry. Nice spooning and leveling. I've taught you something over the years. So you just want to break up the eggs so that it's not a clump.
Go.
Here, you got it. Do you want to stand up and stir? Can you see it better standing up or sitting down better?
This, like this.
Henry,
Okay.
that is one perfect one. Just 1 second. We want to make sure the egg is and the sugar are
What
all.
did you say?
Just wait 1 second.
No, what did you say before?
I just want to make sure that the.
No, what did you say that?
It's a perfect cup. You did a great job. Wait, here. Can I do one quick magic swirl?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to make sure that all of the pieces of sugar are dissolved and the egg is incorporated so it's really smooth and thick and glossy. Okay, now it looks like it's nice and thick and kind of, what do you think it looks like, guys? A little bit like slime, but it smells so good.
A little bit like a brown moss. Brown moss.
Oh, yeah. Oh, interesting.
Ready?
Yeah. There you go. Woohoo! So Theodore, do you want to stir it until it disappears? We always work on stirring, not sloshing. It's a hard distinction, but important. There you go. Henry, do you want to give it a whirl?
Sure.
And you really can't do it wrong. Brownies are pretty sturdy.
Yeah, you have to make a brownie, Mama.
Yeah.
So a tiny bit sloshed out, Mama.
No, it's okay. You're doing an awesome job, buddy. So here, while I finish, I'll finish this. If you want to reach the pan that I've prepared over there, this batter, the flour disappears and it becomes like a thick, again, like a thick, glossy
moss.
Yeah, moss, I guess. And so what I've done over here is made a pan. I buttered a pan.
I want to pour it.
Great. You can do that in just a second. So this is a buttered 8x8 pan. If you'll notice, hold on, Henry, can you please not touch it right now? If you'll notice, I put a piece of parchment just to overhang two sides. You'll see why I do that in a minute. I worked for Martha Stewart for a while, and that was a trick I picked up there. It's a helpful way to get the brownies out of the pan, and nice and easy to cut. So, all right, which one of you, well, I think maybe teamwork, which one of you wants to pour it into the pan? I'm going to hold the bowl. All right, what I'm going to do.
We can both do it.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to hold the bowl because it's kind of heavy, and then you guys can scrape it in.
Okay, hold on. I want to scrape it. We can both.
Yeah, Theodore, you scrape it too.
Some of it already fell. Oops. Some of it already fell in.
That's okay. That's perfect. You guys are doing a great job. So I put paper underneath. Oh, you can't see me. I put paper underneath our work surface because, as you can see, baking with kids is awesome. It also kind of results in flour all over your kitchen, which I happen to love. But the way to sort of
over there.
Mitigate that process.
Over there.
Over here, my love. I can do a good scrape too. I just keep a piece of paper underneath so I can funnel the rest of the flour. Here, I'll do one good scrape so we make sure we don't leave.
And then can we
liquid? Sure. Hold on. Hold on. One of you can use the spoon there, and one of you can have.
How much is that?
Henry, you're being bossy,
you
guys.
You can have the spoon over here. You want to?
So then you just smooth it out.
This spoon.
Into the pan.
Then you can get a new spoon. No. I'll get one for you, but I'm having that.
Anyway, so I'm just smoothing it out. And then it goes in a 350 oven for about 30 minutes. It's super simple.
Thanks. Can I have that?
And the trickiest part about the paper lining, there's really nothing tricky about it, except you just don't really want it to be laying directly on top. Here you go, Henry. So this goes in an oven. Luckily, with the magic of television, I baked one earlier with the two of them so that we could practice and also so that we could have one to show you guys at the end. But guys, that's enough. It's a lot. One last lick, Henry. One last lick, Peter.
I want to finish this.
Okay. Well, while they're consumed with brownie joy, I wanted to tell you about my other books. I have a few other cookbooks. None to do with baking. Cake Magic is the one that I showed you. The book that I had come out recently is called Lasting Love. It came out last summer. And actually, it's really special to be baking with them, always. But especially now, I don't happen to eat chocolate anymore because a couple of years ago, I was actually diagnosed with a brain tumor. And yeah, I was given a year to live, and it was a really terrifying time, and I gave up all of the delicious things. So now I don't eat them anymore. But we still bake together. This is traditional baking, but we often bake in the way that I eat, which is a lot of things that we call mommy's chocolate, like carob. I don't eat refined sugar or refined flours anymore. I work on a variety of projects. Right now I'm working a lot with soup for a forthcoming cookbook in February of next year.
What is it called?
Soup Club. You have chocolate, you have brownie batter all over your face. Yeah, I'm working a lot in soup these days. And I write a blog called The Wright Recipes, where I write the recipes that I am working with these days, you know, the food that I feed my family and what my life looks like. And I was given a year to live, but I'm 3 years out. So people are casually tossing around the word like miracle and stuff. But the miracle for me is being able, honestly, sounds cheesy, but it's totally true. Being able to be here and bake with my kids feels amazing. And it's something that I don't take for granted. And I don't think that they do either. But so I'm telling you all of that because Lasting Love is about, when I was sick and in treatment. Henry, you don't have to worry about cleaning up. Here, wipe your hands, just leave it alone. We'll clean it up afterwards. Here you go, my love. When I was in treatment, I was trying to find books to read the kids, and there really weren't books. Hey, my love.
Mama, what can we do now?
You can hand me, I'm going to talk for a minute about this book.
What can we do?
You can go sit down and come back when we deal with the brownies.
So, Mommy, you can watch?
No, we can't. No, you can't watch TV.
How do you do it?
Honey, I'm currently trying to talk about my book.
Okay.
Okay, sit down. Please be quiet for a minute, okay? So when this always kind of makes them uncomfortable. That's why they're leaving. Because ironically, this book, even though I wrote this book for them in my treatment year, they found it really hard once it came out. It kind of just reminded them of my cancer. Hey boys, I need you to be quiet right now. Okay? Theodore, that means you. Anyway, so Lasting Love was a book that I wrote because I couldn't find any that were kind of in our family's philosophy of what we were telling them, which is, you know, we don't really have religion and we don't really have, and we weren't protecting them. We were telling them the whole truth. So having something that was like talking about the metaphor of changing seasons or something just felt false. So I wrote this book. I just woke up one day and had this idea that perfectly represented that. And the idea is that when a parent is diagnosed with a terminal illness, they're sent home from the hospital with a magical creature. And the creature is the outward representation of the dying parent's love. And I really liked that idea as a parent who was going through treatment that caused me to lose my hair. And all of my doctors at the time were pretty frightened, were telling me all kinds of things. It looked like I had a string of bad luck, which actually, ironically, in the end, turned out to be pretty good luck. So I wrote this book for them to take care of them at the time. I was also writing a lot for them, future versions of them, which I hope to turn into a memoir someday. So I was just writing feverishly. And I wasn't baking very much. I wasn't cooking very much. I didn't know what my baking and cooking career was going to look like. So I just decided to focus on things that made me feel like myself. which was like a huge part of my cancer journey. And keeping my traditional baking skills alive was really important to me, though, too, because I really believe in, being able to give people gifts and the community building of baking. It's such an important part of the art itself. So I'm very grateful to be here to do all of it still. I don't need to just make and cook things that I can eat. So anyway, that's why I ended up with that brownie recipe and making this book. It's called Lasting Love. Again, it came out last summer, and it's a beautiful book that is about a dying parent. The parent actually dies halfway through, but this magical creature ends up living on with the child, and it's just beautifully illustrated by a friend here in Seattle, Willow Heath, and it's just very hopeful and sweet. I would be happy to let me see if I can show you some of her beautiful illustrations.
Mommy!
This is one of my favorite pages, and it's a really good. So this is right after the mom dies, and so the creature who was living with the mom while she was dying, Theodore, honey, while she was living with the mom, was now after her death is like taking on all of her power. Anyway, these boys are getting very, very excited for brownies. Let me see what else I should be telling you. Hey, Theodore, honey, you're kind of acting like a dinosaur when we're supposed to be quiet. Henry is sitting there reading. It's very challenging these days of working from home with a child who doesn't read yet, and he goes to a play-based preschool. So, meaning they actually play outdoors in rain or shine in Seattle winter and everything. It's been a challenge.
Yes.
Theodore, absolutely not. Honey, you need to go downstairs to the playroom. Anyway, so welcome to my life. So yeah, I still bake with them and stuff. Theodore. All right, we're just gonna cut to the brownies, and I will show you how those worked out. So here, come on, boys. We just need.
Is that the brownies? Yep.
Yes, come on.
Is that the brownies that we baked earlier?
Yes.
Yes. Now we get to cut it.
Oh my god. You guys are it's like I have wild animals that I'm living with, which is very true for two small boys. So yeah, these brownies are actually still a little warm, so they're gonna cut kind of rough.
I want it.
They look like angels. So that's why they will cut kind of rough. Usually you let these cool for like an hour. They're still like slightly warm. But the liner really helps lifting them out.
Oh.
Can you guys stop, please? Don't worry, they've washed their hands a million times. Is it just me, or like teaching little kids to wash their hands during this COVID thing? You realize like just how gross they are. That's how we've been in our house, right? But here, so I like to just cut them into usually 16 quarters. Yes, that would be accurate for what they want. So I just, cut it in 4 across. And Henry, would you mind passing me that red towel over there? When you, if you wipe off, like if you're cutting them while they're warm, if you wipe off, guys, can you please stop, Theodore? Theodore, you can't reach on the cutting board while mommy's cutting. I have a very sharp knife in my hand, and you know that. That's a rule. There's a cutting board. So, thank you for joining me today. I would love to show you some other time, some of the other cakes and things. Actually, like baking with them in my own kitchen when not on TV is not nearly as challenging as it is right now. I guess probably because I can boss them around. What? Oh, he's saying he's embarrassed because he's on TV. Sorry, buddy, to blow up your spot. I mean, you get used to it. Hey, stop. Don't steal. And
Just getting the chocolate.
I know. It's pretty good. And if you wanted to use, I use semi-sweet chocolate just because it's, you know, for kids. But if I was making this for a dinner party or something, I would make two very, hey, Peter, that's a blade. I would make two very simple tweaks. I would probably use a bag of bittersweet chocolate chips and sprinkle it with some flake salt, like sea salt, flaky sea salt. Very, very delicious. So what I love about these brownies, they have kind of a crispy, crackly top. Here, you can have a brownie, Theodore. What do you think, Henry?
Henry, that's mine. That's good.
Here, please take a brownie, Theodore. There are 15 for you to choose from.
I'm going to have
Brownies after breakfast here in the Pacific Northwest. It's a special treat for them. And also, Henry is in homeschooling, so he's skipping a little bit of his morning routine to do this, which is very special also. What do you think?
It's awesome. Can I have another one?
Nice try. We'll save the rest of these for after dinner. Maybe since we're going to have so many brownies, maybe we'll take some to some neighbors today.
They're all from.
You can also freeze them. That might be also what we end up doing is when these are fully cool, I'll put them in, you can freeze them actually as a big brownie, like as individuals, or you can freeze them as a large brownie cake and just wrap them in plastic wrap after they're solid, and then just set them at room temperature to thaw unwrapped. I usually set them on a wire rack once they're thawed. And thank you for saying that it's not just me, that all kids are crazy. Yes, especially when you involve chocolate, especially after breakfast. But, you know, I love them. And because of all that I've been through, I would never trade it. And do you want to tell them how lasting love makes you feel? Are you able to talk about that for a second?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
That's generally how it goes. It's funny that when that book came out, a lot of people were really interested in like, oh, getting video footage of me reading it to the kids or me talking about it with the kids, and the kids like reading it. Hey, Peter, can you please go to the kitchen and wipe off your hands, my love? And it just wouldn't happen because, I mean, for me, this book is very, very hopeful. The mom dies. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. The mom dies, but the mom lives on in some way. And for them, they have a book where their mom dies. And they don't want to, and I'm alive. So they don't want to revisit that. Sorry, bud. I know you don't really like talking about it. But I'm here. So, lots of people. Different people. Anyway, thanks for joining me this morning and talking to me a little bit about brownies. I know. It went faster than I thought because you guys were a little extra crazy.
Whoa! Is crazy a good thing?
I don't know. Do you think that crazy is a good thing?
Uh-huh.
No, nice try. Nope. No more brownies. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I think I'm going to sign off a little bit early just because I have to clean up this mess and my children are now wanting to just like lick all of the things. But I really, really appreciate you starting if you're in the Pacific Northwest, sort of starting your day, but everyone else probably has started their day. Thank you for being here with me, and I hope you make the brownies. One more time, I'll tell you the recipe. Just write it down. Super simple. 1 12-ounce bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips, or substitute whatever chocolate chips you want. 1 stick of butter, unsalted generally. 3 large eggs. 1 cup of brown sugar, and 1 cup of flour. And it's so easy that you'll believe me. Theodore the other day, he made it fully by himself. I just had to point and tell him the amounts, but it's like you use a single cup measure. Very, very simple. Then you bake it in the oven 350 for 30 minutes. And that's it. So great to see you guys. And thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry it was a little chaotic, but now is the time for that to happen. So make some brownies with your kids, and it'll distract them for all of 15 minutes. Talk to you later. See ya. Bye.